The goal of this assignment is to render a copy of an object. The most suitable references for this assignment are metal and glass objects. I'll first create a file with two reference images, both on their own layers. I can now toggle the visibility of these layers. I lock both of them. I will work on a third layer on top of the references. I'll start by creating forms and setting suitable colors for them. Most of the forms will have some kind of gradients. First thing I'll notice is that the object is a bit tinted, but I will create it in grayscale and then overlay some color on top. The first form was a normal gradient. The basis of the second form is a bit more complex gradients. It is light gray, light gray, dark gray, dark gray, light gray. I need two dark gray colors in the gradient next to each other. This creates a dark gray bar. I'll adjust the colors in the gradient tool. I'll create a copy of this form with a gray to transparent gray gradient. With this I can fade the bottom and the top of the dark bar. The next form has a quite similar gradients. I try to not draw any paths twice, but stack the forms in a suitable manner. I first think about the order before creating the forms. On the bottom areas and on the center, I use a radial gradient. Remember that you shouldn't try to create too many colors in one gradient, but stack them on top of each other, just like layers on a watercolor painting. I'll continue piece by piece. Most of the forms have at least two gradients, to have them look a bit more natural. In the smaller forms, you might not need gradients at all. The shadow on the lid could have been done more easily with the mesh tool. I'll first draw whole of the handle. I'll then draw the side of the handle on top. I use the Pathfinder to cut myself nice pieces. I'll try to do the arch gradient on the upper part of the handle with a huge radial gradient, where I put most of the colors to the very edge of the gradients. I'll use the same form again and then fill the strange areas with flat forms. For the shadow of the handle, I use the mesh tool. When I have most of the forms, I continue refining the piece. I create smaller and smaller details like shines and shadows. I also create some scratches. This makes the metal look more natural. I also tint the objects. I copy all of the forms and unite them, and then make this new fill form red. I make this form a bit transparent and put it on its own layer. Then I can continue working underneath it easily. I also make the grey background so that I can see the white shines. I continue working all around. I also create the logo on the handle. I create the highlights with strokes. I continue on refining the object. I create some transparent forms to use as stains. I also try to create some texture to the metal. I create thin lines which are almost transparent. This makes the metal look a bit more like brushed aluminum. Most of the forms are done in the same manner. I first create a fully opaque gradient and then put another gradient on top. The second gradient is at least partly transparent. Then the edges and the small details are mostly done with normal fill colors. If needed, I reduce their opacity.